I was fired 7 minutes into the new vice president's first board meeting. "Let me stop you right there," she said, cutting clean through my sentence. Her voice was calm, practiced. "This presentation isn't necessary." I looked up from my laptop. 14 people sat around the table. Board members, legal counsel, senior leadership. All of them froze. "I'm sorry," I said. She didn't hesitate. "You're fired. Security will escort you out." The words landed flat, like she'd rehearsed them. No warning, no performance review, no private conversation, just a public ending. Someone inhaled sharply. Another board member shifted in their seat. No one spoke. I glanced down at the bouquet resting beside my chair. White lilies. Simple. I had picked them up that morning on the way in. "They're for you," I said, nodding toward the flowers. The new vice president blinked. "Excuse me." "Welcome gift," I added. "First day." Her jaw tightened. "This isn't appropriate." "Neither is this," I said. Gesturing to the room, she folded her arms. "Security." 2 guards stepped into the doorway. I could feel their eyes on me, waiting. "My name is Sarah Whitmore. I have worked at this company for 9 years. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't argue. I closed my laptop slowly and stood. "Before I go," I said, meeting her eyes, "check your email. The board will meet in 2 hours. A flicker crossed her face. Annoyance, confusion. "That won't be necessary," she replied. "This decision is final." I smiled. Just enough to make her uncomfortable. "You can fire me," I said. "Just not today." The room went quiet again. Not awkward quiet. Alert quiet. I picked up my bag. The guards hesitated, unsure whether to move closer or step back. No one told them what to do. As I walked out, I heard the board chair clear his throat. "Hold on," he said. What email I didn't stop. "The story you are about to hear is a fictional work created by the writing team at Revengeaita. While the characters, events, and company in this narrative are fictional, the situations are inspired by real workplace conflicts involving power, integrity, and accountability. Each story carries its own message and resolution." I reached the hallway before my phone vibrated. One notification, then another. I didn't read them yet. Some things are better understood once everyone has the same information. Why did everyone assume I would apologize instead of prepare? I heard it in their voices long before that meeting, the tone people use when they think you'll smooth things over. "Sarah, you're always so reasonable," Ed had said the week before, leaning against my doorframe. "You'll help her settle in. I help problems settle," I replied. "Not people." He laughed, like I was joking. I wasn't. I was never a climber. I didn't chase titles or linger after meetings to make sure my face was remembered. I didn't play politics because I didn't need to. When the system broke, they called me. When clients threatened to walk, they sent me in. When something was quietly on fire, I put it out and went back to my desk. That was my role, invisible until necessary. "Sarah, can you take a look at this, Sarah? Something's off in operations." "Sarah, legal needs context before they escalate." I gave it to them, every time. During our last product delay, when 3 contracts were on the line, the chief financial officer had called me at 9 at night. "If this goes wrong," he said, "we lose more than money." "How much?" I asked. "About $200 million over 3 years. "Then stop guessing," I said. "Send me the terms." I didn't save the company with speeches. I did it with clauses, timestamps, and process. With knowing when something could move and when it couldn't. That's why she misread me. In her mind, I was compliant, useful, quiet, someone who would absorb pressure and say thank you for the privilege. She leaned on that assumption the moment we met. "I expect flexibility," she'd said in our first private conversation. "No resistance. I expect documentation," I replied. "No ambiguity." Her smile tightened. People like her hear that as defiance. People like me hear it as survival. By the time she decided to remove me, she wasn't eliminating a problem. She was clearing away something she didn't understand. And that misunderstanding was already working in my favor. What if the real mistake happened before she even walked into the building? The email arrived 2 weeks before her start date. No greeting, no introduction. "Send me a clean overview of the numbers," she wrote. "I want to make the transition look strong." I replied the same afternoon. "I can send the current projections," I said. "They'll reflect our actual timelines and recognition rules." Her answer came 10 minutes later. I'm not asking for inaccuracies, she wrote. Just smooth the presentation. Move a few things forward. Delay a few expenses. Optics matter. I stared at the screen longer than I should have. I called her instead. I want to be clear, I said when she picked up. Our revenue recognition policies don't allow that. She exhaled, sharp and impatient. Sarah, everyone does this. I need the board confident on day one. Then confidence has to come from facts, I said. Not rearranged ones. Silence. Then a softer voice. I'm trying to help you, she said. You don't want to start on the wrong side of me. I'm already on the right side, I replied. Of the rules. She hung up without saying goodbye. An hour later, another email arrived. Send the revised version by Friday. I answered in writing, carefully, professionally. I can't do that. Any adjustments would need audit review and board approval. I didn't add anything else. No explanation, no apology. I forwarded the exchange to my personal archive and tagged it with the date. Not as a threat, not as leverage, as a record. At the time, I didn't think it would matter. I assumed she'd drop it, learn the culture, adapt. People always underestimate how much damage one email can do when it's written too early and read too late. By the time she decided I was a problem, the fault line was already there, quiet, documented, waiting. And she had no idea she'd stepped on it herself. Disagreement didn't turn into disloyalty all at once. It happened the moment she closed the door. She didn't sit behind the desk. She leaned against it, arms crossed, already impatient. I've reviewed your materials, she said. And I'm concerned. I stayed standing. About what? Exactly your posture, she replied. You push back. You question direction. I clarify scope, I said. That's my job. She smiled. But it didn't reach her eyes. I need alignment, Sarah. Then put it in writing, I said. So we're aligned on record. The smile disappeared. This doesn't need to be formal, she said. We're having a conversation. Conversations get forgotten, I replied. Documents don't, she straightened. You're making this difficult. I'm making it clear. She stepped closer. I was hired to change how things work here. That includes you. Then outline the changes, I said. And the authority behind them. Her jaw tightened. You don't trust me. I trust process. She laughed once, sharp. That's the problem. You hide behind it. I rely on it, I said. Because it protects the company. She turned away, pacing once before stopping. Let me be direct. Are you with me, or are you in my way? I didn't answer immediately. If you're asking whether I'll follow lawful direction, I said, yes. And if I'm asking whether you'll stop resisting, she pressed. I'm not resisting, I said. I'm documenting. She stared at me, calculating. Then her tone softened, dangerously. Let's not make this adversarial, she said. Send me what I asked for. We'll keep it between us. Send the request in writing, I said again, with legal copied. Her face hardened. That won't be necessary, she said. Then neither will my compliance. Silence stretched between us, heavy, final. When I left her office, she didn't call after me. She didn't need to. I could feel the shift already. The moment tension turned into intent. From that point on, I stopped being an obstacle to manage. I became something to remove. It wasn't the firing that proved intent. It was everything she did before it. The first message came to my team early Monday morning, not through me, not through human resources. Effective immediately, it read. All project approvals route directly to my office. Maya, one of my senior managers, walked in holding her phone like it was evidence. She copied everyone except you, Maya said. Is this real? It's not valid, I said. Forward it to me. An hour later, another message followed. This one sharper. If timelines slip, accountability will be reassessed. The vice president wrote. Non-compliance will have consequences. Maya swallowed. That sounds like a threat. It is. I said. She hesitated. Do you want me to respond? No, I said. Save it. By noon. 2 more directives went out. Budget reassignments, staffing changes, all bypassing protocol, all bypassing me. Jonah, a project lead, called from a conference room. I put him on speaker. She told me to remove 2 analysts. He said, no documentation, no review. What did you say? I asked. I asked for approval from human resources. He said, she said. If you need permission to lead, you shouldn't be leading. Did you write that down? I asked. Yes, he said. Word for word. Email it to yourself. I said, Then send it to me. There was a pause. Is this going to blow back on us? It already has. I said, we're just making sure it's visible. Maya leaned forward. She's trying to isolate you. I know, I said, and she's doing it fast. That's how you know she's afraid, I replied. Another message arrived while we sat there. Short, public. Sarah is no longer the point of escalation. I didn't respond. I opened a folder on my desktop and dropped each message inside. Dates, times, names. Maya watched quietly. What do we do now? I looked up. We keep everything. From that moment on, the pattern wasn't just behavior. It was evidence. Power overplayed itself the moment she chose an audience. The board meeting resumed like nothing had happened. I was standing again, my laptop open. The same slide frozen on the screen. Continue, the chair said. I didn't get a sentence out. I'm going to stop this, the vice president said, turning toward the room. This role requires decisiveness, and what I'm seeing is obstruction. I closed my laptop. Sarah Whitmore, she said, louder now. You are terminated, effective immediately. Security will escort you out. A murmur rippled across the table. Not agreement, hesitation. On what grounds? Asked Thomas. The board chair. Performance, she said. Cultural misalignment. Do you have documentation? He asked. She smiled. Thin? I don't need it. The general counsel, a woman named Elaine, who rarely spoke first, set her pen down. You do, actually. The vice president turned. Excuse me. Termination of a senior director requires either documented cause or board approval, Elaine said. Neither has occurred. I was hired to lead, the vice president snapped. I won't be undermined. You're being questioned, Thomas said. Not undermined. She looked at me. Say something, she said. Defend yourself. I met her gaze. I don't need to. Her eyes narrowed. This ends now. No, I said. It escalates. She laughed. You're already out. You can fire me, I said evenly. Just not today. The room went still. Elaine leaned forward. Sarah, are you indicating there's information the board should review before any action is taken? Yes, I said. It's already been sent. The vice president's confidence wavered for the first time. What did you send? Thomas checked his phone, then looked up. Elaine's expression changed as she scanned her screen. We need to pause this meeting. This is absurd, the vice president said. Security? Not yet, Thomas replied. Everyone stay seated. I picked up my bag. As I stepped away from the table, no one followed me. The guards remained where they were, unsure. Behind me, Elaine said quietly. We're moving into review. I didn't turn around. Whatever today meant, it had already begun. The email was already drafted. I had written it the night after her first message to my team, then left it unsent. I opened my laptop and checked the recipients one last time, the board, legal counsel, and the audit committee. No assistants, no intermediaries. The subject line was plain documentation for immediate review. Elaine's voice echoed in my head from earlier. If there's anything relevant, it needs to be shared now. I clicked send. My phone vibrated almost immediately. Thomas texted first, received, then Elaine, reviewing, do not delete anything. I stood in the hallway outside the boardroom, my bag still on my shoulder, through the glass. I could see the vice president pacing. Her phone pressed to her ear. Elaine stepped out and motioned me closer. Walk me through it, she said quietly. Pre-start pressure to adjust numbers, I said. Written refusal. Multiple directives issued without human resources. Threats made to staff. All documented. Any recordings, she asked. 1. I said I was a participant. She nodded once. That helps. Inside the room. The vice president raised her voice. I couldn't hear the words, but I could see the shape of panic. She was no longer addressing the board. She was trying to regain control. Elaine went back in. The door closed. A minute later, Thomas came out. We're suspending the meeting, he said. Stay nearby. I'm not going anywhere, I replied. Elaine reopened the door and addressed the room. Until further notice. All personnel decisions are paused. The vice president turned sharply. You can't do that. Elaine met her stare. We already have. I checked my email again. 3 more replies had arrived. Short, direct, serious. The system had shifted. Not loudly, not dramatically. Just enough to make sure no one could pretend this was still under her control. Power looks loud when it's unsure of itself. Real authority doesn't announce anything. I walked past the reception desk without stopping. My badge scanned green. No alarm, no pause. The guard glanced up. "Everything okay?" "Sarah, yes," I said. "I'm stepping out." He nodded and looked back at his screen. Behind me, voices rose in the conference room. Not a debate, a scramble. The vice president's tone had changed sharper, faster, trying to regain ground that was already gone. Elaine caught up to me near the elevators. "Stay reachable," she said. "Don't forward anything. Don't delete anything." "I won't," I replied. She hesitated. "This may take a while." "I know," I said. "I'll be close." As the doors opened, I heard the vice president through the glass. "This is outrageous," she said. "I was hired to make decisions." Elaine's reply was even. "You were hired to follow process." The doors closed. Outside, my phone buzzed again. A message from Maya. They told us to pause all changes. Everything. I typed back one line. Good. I didn't rush. I didn't look back. No one followed me into the lobby. No escort. No raised voices calling my name. Across the street, I stopped and checked my email. Another message from Thomas. "Please remain available." I was inside the building. She was still explaining herself. Still arguing. Still assuming volume could reverse what documentation had already set in motion. I took a breath and stepped into the afternoon. The quiet felt earned. By the time I reached the corner, my badge still worked. My job still existed. And the only person waiting under scrutiny wasn't me. Silence had done exactly what it was meant to do. Losing authority happens quietly, one permission at a time. The first call came that evening. Elaine's voice was measured, professional, effective immediately, she said. All of her approvals are suspended. She's not to direct staff, access financial systems, or represent the company externally. Understood, I replied. The next morning, interviews began. Maya went first. She called me afterward, her voice steady but tight. They asked for timelines. Exact words. I gave them everything. That's all they need, I said. Jonah followed. Then 2 analysts. Then someone from finance I barely knew. No one was coached. No one was rushed. Elaine kept me updated in short, factual messages. Interview notes align. Documentation corroborates. No contradictions so far. By midday, the vice president was no longer in her office. Her calendar was wiped clean. Her assistant had been reassigned. Thomas called me just after lunch. She's been informed. He said, informed of what I asked. That she's relieved of decision-making authority pending outcome. He replied, she's not to contact staff. I could hear her in the background then, faint but unmistakable. This is procedural overreach, she said sharply. I demand to address the board. Thomas didn't lower his voice. You already did. In writing. There was a pause. The kind that lands when someone realizes argument won't move anything. She keeps asking who initiated this, Thomas added. And I said. And we keep telling her the same thing, he replied. The process did. By the end of the day, a single internal notice went out. No names, no explanations. All strategic decisions are temporarily centralized under board review. Nothing dramatic followed. No outbursts. No final confrontation. Just access removed. Meetings canceled. Authority dissolved into procedure. I closed my laptop and set it aside. The system didn't punish her loudly. It didn't need to. It simply stopped responding to her at all. Winning didn't look like applause. It looked like an email. Elaine forwarded it to me late in the afternoon. No preamble, no softening language. Following the conclusion of the investigation, the vice president has been terminated for cause. Effective immediately. That was it. One sentence. Clean. Final. Thomas called a few minutes later. We'll issue a brief internal memo, he said. No details. No spectacle. That's fine, I replied. You're reinstated, he added. Full authority restored. I thanked him and ended the call. The memo went out before the day ended. It named no one. It explained nothing. It simply stated that leadership responsibilities were reassigned and operations would continue as usual. People stopped by my office quietly. Maya stood in the doorway, hands folded. She's gone, she said. Yes, I replied. She nodded, relief crossing her face. I'm glad you stayed. So am I said. No one congratulated me. No one needed to. The work resumed, steady and familiar. Meetings returned to their normal rhythm. Decisions moved again, properly documented, properly reviewed. I didn't feel triumphant, I felt intact. That night, I packed the bouquet I'd never given and left it on the reception desk. White lilies, still fresh, no note attached. This wasn't revenge. Revenge needs witnesses. This was timing, restraint, and rules doing exactly what they were designed to do. Before I shut down my computer, I wrote one line in my notebook, something I wanted to remember long after this stopped feeling personal. When someone tries to force you to choose between your integrity and your job, choose your integrity and let the system carry the rest. Silence, used well, can be a form of strength. Documentation is not aggression. Waiting is not weakness. Power doesn't disappear when it's abused. It just moves to the person who knows how to wait.